Hey guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to talk about how to play glass cannon TDs more successfully. If you're interested in more reviews and gameplay, go to YouTube and search for World of Tanks with Bruce to get all of my videos, or click on the subscribe button. And now, let's go. Now, if I say glass cannon TDs, I mean tank destroyers with high alpha guns but without any armor. So tanks like the German TDs which lead to the Gorilla. In this video, I will present 10 tips and tricks in order to play those tanks more successfully. So let's immediately jump into the first game. Alright, here we are in the first game. We are spawning in the WoT on Panzer IV in a top tier scenario. And the first thing I want to talk about is positioning yourself on a map. So most players playing in tank destroyers without any armor go to a sniping position and simply conduct red line sniping, as I call it. So my first tip for you is don't conduct red line sniping at the beginning of the game. At the beginning of the game, most tanks are very far away. No team is pushing, and you will still be losing. You will certainly be losing, let's say, 5 minutes, and do not make any damage until the adversary tanks finally arrive and finally push into your position. Instead, be more active and participate in the game. So that is exactly what I'm doing right here. I do not go to the K9 position, a typical sniper position. Instead, I want to play more actively and move forward to a position from which I can make damage. And I think the little hill with the bushes on the, what is it, the J7 position should be perfectly fine. Yeah, because conducting red line sniping, actually I would never simply move to the rear of the map and conduct sniping from that position. I would basically always try to be more active and participate in the game. So instead of going where the SHA Future 4 and the Standard B or have been going, we are positioning ourselves in this bush, and I think from here we can make one or another shot. We can even spot some opponents, which is nice, and maybe we get some assisting damage. And let me see, can we get the, oh no, he is hiding. Okay, but bam. Okay, we're now spotted, but we take 2 shots, which is not too good. However, on the other side, we could make our first damage, which is nice. So now I'm waiting 10 seconds until I'm not spotted anymore, and then I will simply move back into the bush. And that actually brings me to tip number 2. Move into a bush backwards so you can fall back into cover quickly after your shot. This obviously only works if you have a fully rotatable turret, but nonetheless, even in a Gorilla which has a partially rotatable turret, you can basically turn your tank so that you can fall into cover more quickly than compared to the situation in which you would simply move frontally into the bush. That obviously also depends on the reverse speed of your tank, but in general you should not move into a bush forward if you have other options. Okay, so I think so far so good. 3 minutes into the game, we already made 1100 damage. Oh, and you saw me using this rock here because the WoT on Panzer IV only has, I believe 5 degrees of gun depression, which is not a lot. But by using this rock and kind of angling the hull of my tank, or basically flipping the hull of my tank, I could increase the effective gun depression in this situation and get a shot onto the tank which is down there on the little street. So tip number 3 is always fully aim in your shots. And that is what I want to do here in order to take out the object for 30. Nice. And so we could even hit this tank, which is basically 400 and approximately 50 meters away. So tank destroyers usually have high alpha guns but bad dispersion values, or at least bad gun handling. If you want to hit your shots, you have to fully aim in. Don't be the guy complaining about not hitting anything if you try to make snapshots with a gun that has horrible dispersion and a horrible aim time, or I should say or horrible aim time. So that's what you should always do in a tank destroyer, because obviously your tank is balanced and you will pay a price for your high alpha damage, which most often is a lack of gun handling capability. So yeah, 1800 damage, nice. 4.5 minutes into the game. Once again, I'm trying to get more gun depression by using this rock here. Let us see how it goes. And maybe the T-54 mod 1 is spotting this tank. Okay, maybe this tank advances. Nice, looks like. So let's simply aim here. Here go. And bam. Nice, next 503 damage. And as you can see, I'm driving first of all behind this rock here in order to get cover from this tank. And now once again, I'm always doing the same thing. I wait 10 seconds until I'm not spotted anymore, and then I can move out of cover and maybe take out this tank. Okay, it is already taken out. And so yeah, okay. Next tip is read the minimap and relocate to where you are needed. Don't spend time on a position where enemy tanks are hiding or where nothing is going on. Instead, relocate and help your teammates to win or to defend a flank. This also applies to tanks which have no mobility. In such tanks, you even have to you simply have to lead turn this decision. And if you take a look at the minimap, you see that the Shah Future 4 and our tank, we are the only ones playing on the southern flank. And I think in this tank I should not be the most forward tank on this side, and so time has come to relocate. Now there's nothing going on here, and so I should not waste the time on this flank, but rather relocate and help, for example, my E75 to take out the object 257, and that's exactly what I'm doing right here. So even in a tank destroyer, you should have SA, you should build up SA, use the minimap and see what is going on in the game. Now unfortunately I get spotted here. Usually I want to surprise my opponents by changing the flanks without getting spotted, but that's just how it is. And now obviously the adversary tanks know that I have moved into the middle, and then maybe they will push out the Sharp Future 4, but that's just how it is. Okay, so tip number 5 is move out of cover slowly so you do not have to fully aim in. So basically I should say, so it does not take too long until you have fully aimed in. And this is exactly what I did here, and this way I was even able to hit the little portion of the roof which was visible on the object 257. So if you drive out of cover slowly, it only takes a short period of time until you are fully aimed in. This way you can take a shot much earlier as otherwise, and if you see players making basically snapshots in a TD, then that is because they are conducting this technique. And they are relatively quickly fully aimed in, and so this way they can hit their shots. Now, tip number 6 is don't be afraid of going in a 1v1 situation if you have the DPM and or the hit points to do so. And that is exactly what I am doing right here against the object 257. You are in a tank destroyer, even in a tank destroyer like the WoT on Panzer IV, you are a tank like any other one on the battlefield. The only difference is you have no armor. But this does not mean that you cannot engage other tanks and win a 1v1 situation. So the only thing you have to keep in mind is, obviously, as you do not have any armor, once again I'm fully aiming in my shot in order to hit, and there you go. Obviously every shot of the adversary tank will penetrate your tank, and so chances are that your modules will get taken out. So you should have the repair kit and or the first aid kit available in a 1v1 situation. But besides this, you can of course engage a tank 1v1. By the way, nice kill shot here. You can of course engage a tank 1v1 even in a tank which has no armor whatsoever, and you should do this because nothing is more useless as a tank which is full HP at the end of the game, and which then simply is the damage pinata for the adversary team. So even in such a tank, consciously trade your HP in order to create a favorable situation on your flank, or on the flank basically where it is needed in the fight. Okay, so the game is relatively close. Now I want to move out of cover backward because I am expecting a tank in this bush over there. Now I do not get spotted, so there's no tank in this bush yet. So look, okay, here you go, there he is. Okay, and am I spotted? No. A little bit surprising, and I think maybe if I can take out this tank, then this will be beneficial, and then we can maybe win. Okay, now I'm spotted, and that is actually too bad. Sorry. Because now he knows where I am, and I think I should fall back and seek for the support maybe of the Char Future 4, but he is not moving into my position, unfortunately. And as I certainly want to win the game and make the kill shot on the Object 704, I am loading premium ammunition. And so let's see how it goes. We already made more than 3000 damage, and I think it was due to the I would call it unconventional gameplay, due to the more active gameplay compared to most TD players. So let's see how it goes. Only 4 minutes remaining, and I think the Super Conqueror, I think he is too passively. Okay, Char Future 4 wants to flank the Object 704. Okay. Oh, here you go. What is this? This is the... Yeah, okay. The 704, okay, went that way. Okay, let's... Okay. Wow, okay. That is very unfortunate. Fortunately, he did not hit me, but I also missed my shot, and so, yep, I need to evade the artillery, and besides that, I now need the support of the Char Future 4. He should go full speed to my position, because I think the only chance to win this game is if we can take out the Object 704. So let me see, can we fall out of cover? Now I'm doing what I just explained to you. I'm moving out of cover super slowly in order to reduce the time that I need to be fully aimed in. Here we go, nice. And now I need to make sure that he does not proxy spot me, or maybe... Okay, what I think he will now turn around, and I will simply... Oh, okay. Okay, I did not know that his alpha damage is so high. Okay, that was stupid by myself. Basically, I did not think that his alpha damage is so high, but he could take me out of the game. And yeah, sorry guys to basically F up in this situation, but that's just how it is. So let's simply go to the next game. Alright, this time we are spawning in the tier 8 German tank destroyer, the Rheinmetall Borsig WoT, another glass cannon tank destroyer. And by the way, I always recommend to play those tanks with a small caliber gun in order to simply be more flexible on the battlefield, because not only do you have a relatively high alpha, but you also have a much more precise gun, and so you are much better when it comes to sniping across the map. So tip number 7 is try to surprise your opponents and be ready to punish their mistakes. Try to set up yourself in a position from which you have lines of fire to positions which are usually used by enemy tanks. If you can, try to position yourself on a position in the middle of the map so you have multiple lines of fire, and so that you are independent of the adversary tactic. And on this map, this bush here is a good example of this rule. Now, once again, as I told you, I am turning around my tank in order to be more quickly able to evade out of such a situation. And then now I'm pre-aiming this position because I'm expecting those heavy tanks to cross to the northern part of the map. And so I fall out of the bush in order, or because I always consider that I get spotted, and I do not want to simply sit in a bush and get taken out. So okay, next tank, nice, and bam. So 1000 damage, only 1 minute and 15 seconds into the game, which is excellent. And now, as I did not get spotted taking the first shot, I thought that I did not need to move out of this bush after taking the second shot. So yeah, this is once again the good thing about a central. Okay, now I get spotted, so I have to quickly fall back, but fortunately I can move forward and move out of the bush quicker. This is the advantage of a position in the middle of the map. I have multiple lines of fire and I can use that to my advantage. So okay, let's see. Our team is very aggressively and also very successfully, if you ask me. And now it comes back to what I said in the previous game. In a tank destroyer, you do not simply want to conduct red line sniping, but you want to move forward and let's see, can we get another shot, and participate in the game. And so take a look how much the WoT and the ELC even 90 and then also the M46 pattern have already advanced. So sooner or later I will have to make sure that I also advance in order to make sure that all the tanks which can be and which will be spotted in the near future are within my render range so that I can take them under fire. This is super important. So I need to move forward, and as the Rheinmetall Borsig is a very slow tank, I have to lead turn this decision and basically relocate earlier than compared to, for example, a tank like the Scorpion or the Gorilla. Okay, so tip number 8 is bring your HP to the fight. There's nothing more useless as a tank which is full HP at the end of the game. Try to help your teammates even if you have no armor whatsoever. Your HP pool should still be should still be traded consciously in order to support your team. And so I am full HP. I have a lot of HP in order to trade, and that is exactly what I want to do right now. So okay, this light tank is spotted. I want to fully aim in and take him out. Nice. And okay, I don't even get spotted, which is nice. And now it is time 6-2-2 to fully trade my HP and to basically have an active part in the game. So that is what I want to do here. 7-3, I cannot wait and play defensively in this situation because I want to make more damage and I want to play my tank more successfully. So this is why I'm moving forward here, and I don't care about losing HP. The only thing I care about is not throwing away my tank. And so you know what, let's take a shot, bam, onto the Sharp Future 4. As I said, every shot takes the possibility of destroying a module, which happened right here, but I have my repair kit available, so that's not a problem at all. And now, you know what, let's simply take another shot onto the Sharp Future 4. Okay, he's... okay, let me see... okay, this did not work, fine. But at least I get a little bit of assisting damage. Okay, so... let's see. Our team is advancing. Okay, artillery hits us, which is bad. But that's how it is. And now we simply have to move forward super aggressively in order to get some more damage. Once again, in a tank like the Rheinmetall Borsig, you have to lead turn such the decisions, and you have to start moving forward earlier compared to the Scorpion G, or for example, And so the all in all, this makes the scope, the Rheinmetall Borsig simply tougher to play. And that's just how it is. Okay, so now can we take him out? Bam, yes we can. And so we made more than 3000 damage, which is in my opinion a decent result. And now, as you can see, I want to go forward as soon as quickly as I can in order to be the first one. And maybe we can take, okay, no. Yeah, the bad turret traverse speed actually doesn't allow for another shot. But I think this was a decent result. And let's jump into the last game. Alright, last game. This time we're spawning in the Scorpion, the tier 8 German premium tank destroyer. And you see me moving forward relatively aggressively alongside with the medium tanks on the heavy flank. Now this brings me to tip number 9. Conduct second line gameplay. Instead of only conducting red line sniping or red line camping, however you would like to call it, you should do second line gameplay. Second line gameplay is right behind the first line. This can be done even in a tank without any armor. Keep in mind, as a TD your firepower is superior and you should bring this advantage to the fight. So don't brawl against heavy tanks, but support your heavy tanks with playing alongside with them, slightly behind in order to punish adversaries once they peek out or make mistakes. And that is exactly what I am trying to do on this flank. So this is of course risky, and yeah, a tank which kind of expects us to move out of this situation can of course simply make damage because we have no armor whatsoever. And maybe that particular situation was not a good example because that was more or less first line brawling. So let's fall back a little bit. After all, we only have 3 tanks and looks like the enemy team is pushing aggressively. But this brings me to tip number 10. Fall back early and set up traps for your opponents. That's what you want to do as a tank destroyer. If you're playing slow TDs, you have to lead turn this decision to fall back. In any case, you want to always avoid to brawl against heavy tanks. So retreat and wait for enemy tanks to drive into your gun. So that's exactly what I want to do here. And bam, nice. So yeah, if you manage to surprise your opponents, then this gives you the possibility of being fully aimed in. Hence you will be able to hit your shots and bring the brutality of your high alpha gun to the enemy tanks. And yeah, so but once again, I'm not playing where the Zoo-130 PM is playing. And I rather conduct second line gameplay and make damage and be let's say an active part of my team. So let's once again move forward. Now this TNH is taken out, and that obviously gives us the chance of making damage to the 703. So that's what I want to do. Now I can track him, nice. So I also get assisting damage, which is nice. Here you go. And yeah, so I think this game here is relatively short. However, it perfectly showed what you can achieve if you conduct second line gameplay instead of simply waiting at the rear of the map and simply yeah, conduct sniping right from the get-go of the game. So you know what, let's use the mobility of the Scorpion in order to flank our adversaries and help the 703-2 in order to clear the situation on the hill. So once again, let's reduce the speed here and fully aim in, and bam, so we can take out the Rusk. Nice. So now the 703, despite being one-shottable, is now able to frontally face the remaining STG. And so I think it was a good decision to help out the 703. So maybe we can further help him and take out the STG. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so this tank is taken out. We win the game. And I think with those 10 tips, they are shown right here, you will become a more successful tank destroyer player because you will make use of the full advantage of your tank. If you only conduct sniping in a tank destroyer, then you are limiting yourself to a certain portion of the capabilities of your tank. So instead of only doing sniping, basically play more actively. I'm not saying that in some situations, in some situations you are perfectly fine with sniping and with setting up a defensive posture and with simply adding the fire support to your team over a long range even. But this is only one portion of the successful gameplay of tank destroyers, and I think with those 10 tips you will be more active and you will be simply more successful playing your glass cannon tank destroyers. Alright guys, that was it for today with the little tutorial on how to play glass cannon TDs. Did you like this video? Are you the player who conducts active gameplay in such a tank, or have you so far played those tanks purely as a redline sniper? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.